What up? Warren E. Freeman Jr. here with Warren's Vlog episode 55, and I'm reviewing last night's Royal Rumble. The internet seems to be very upset with the event from what I've read. I mean, I watched it obviously, but just reading the internet, well, Facebook, everyone seems to have their own opinion about it. Most of it negative. I'm kind of in the middle, and you'll see that with my rating when I'm done with the video. Pre-show matches, I'll go over them real quick. I'm not going to rate them because I don't rate pre-show matches as part of my review, but I will go over them. We have new tag champions, Gallows and Anderson. There was some fuckery, but we have new tag champions. But there's fuckery. There's always fuckery because the heels went over tights. Fuckery. Nia Jax defeated Sasha Banks, which actually kind of shocks me a little bit. I was kind of convinced that they would still want to keep Sasha looking strong, Roman, which is what they would do. I'll get into that later. With Sasha Banks, though, it just, I would have predicted that Nia Jax would just get disqualified for just beating the shit out of Sasha Banks. Therefore, Sasha wins, but you keep Nia looking dominant and Sasha looking strong. But they just decided to have Nia Jax pin her, so whatever. I'm not sure where that's going to go. The Six Diva tag, Lynch, Nikki, and Becky Lynch, Nikki, Bella, and Naomi went over. Yeah, so, alright, main show. They kicked off with the women's title match. The only reason why I'm doing this in order, because usually I don't do the matches in the order that they happen in the pay-per-view, but I remember the order, so I'm just going to do them in order. Charlotte Flair versus Bayley for the Raw Women's Championship. This was a decent match. I gave this a 3. It was back and forth. It was perfectly placed. The timing was paced. It wasn't rushed. It wasn't too much. It wasn't too little. Charlotte got busted open. I'm not sure how, but it was kind of cool to see that. The finish to the match is what really got me. Bayley was on the apron, and Charlotte hit natural selection on the apron. And that brought me out of my seat because it came out of nowhere. You didn't see it coming, and that's how Charlotte won the match. And when I saw that, I was like, damn. Like, that's one of those finishers that you don't see coming. Literally, it just comes out of nowhere. And she hit that natural selection so smooth and so crisp. And the fact that it was on the apron, which is the hardest part of the ring, made that move that much more effective. I really appreciated that. Also, the sale from Bayley, obviously, too, was really good on that. The way that the match was hyped up between Charlotte and Bayley with the whole, it made me believe in Bayley that much more because they're painting Bayley as a fan, which I'm a fan. We're all fans, and that's why it's so easy to identify with Bayley. But given the video package, given the way that the match was built up, I was still picking Charlotte to win that, only because I believe they're going to keep Charlotte undefeated on pay-per-view, because that's her gimmick right now, which, if you go back to 2016 with Charlotte and Sasha switching the belt off and on, Sasha only beat Charlotte on TV, on Raw. I think she beat Charlotte 3 times on Raw, I believe. And the other times, Charlotte won it back on pay-per-view because they're keeping her undefeated on pay-per-view. When that streak ends, I'm assuming WrestleMania. I could be wrong. Maybe it'll go on for another year. Who knows? Anyway, that's Charlotte and Bayley. Gave it a 3. Then we go to Jericho. Well, Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens for the Universal Championship with Chris Jericho in a shark cage. And now, there's an issue I have with this match. Was the match good? Yes, I gave it a 3. But here's my issue. Very quickly, I'm going to jump to Rich Swann and Neville. And then I'm going to go back to Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens. And I'll tell you why once I talk about Rich Swann and Neville. I gave Rich Swann and Neville a 3.2. I gave Roman Reigns and Owens a 3. I gave the nod, or the little bump, to Rich Swann and Neville because they were able to put on a perfect wrestling match. Not a perfect wrestling match, but they were able to put on a wrestling match without any gimmicks. They used psychology. their athleticism and their psychology in that match, with everything that Neville did, everything that Swan did, um, was perfect. Everything had a purpose. Everything had a reason. There was a good story built behind that match that made that probably one of the best matches on the card next to Cena and Styles. And I know I'm going all over the place, but right now I'm comparing Rich Swann and Neville to Kevin Owens and Reigns. Rich Swann and Neville didn't need weapons. They didn't need tables. They didn't need chairs. They didn't need somebody suspended in a shark cage to tell a story. The story was Neville wants to be recognized as king of the cruiserweights. He wasn't in the tournament to crown the cruiserweight champion. Neville wants to be recognized as a good cruiserweight. So you turn him heel, you give him a vicious heel turn, he attacks Rich Swann, he beats Rich Swann to proclaim himself as king of the cruiserweights. And that match was good because you had a good story, you had good psychology. Everything in that match had a purpose, everything had a reason. Okay, so I gave that a 3.2. Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns. I gave it a 3, but the reason why it got the higher rating that it got was because you had the chair spot and the table spot, and you had all those factors that made the match interesting. And I feel like, unfortunately, the match needed that to be as interesting, because at Roadblock it was kind of a dud. I mean, you can go back and watch my Roadblock review. It was kind of just there. Not to mention that match ended on a DQ. So with Rumble, they had to spice things up a little bit. You had to put Jericho in a shark cage. And the problem with Jericho in a shark cage is that he really didn't do much except give brass knucks. He dropped brass knucks down from the cage, and Kevin Owens used it. Actually used a Superman punch on Roman Reigns with the brass knucks, which Roman Reigns kicked out of. So, I mean, Jericho being in the shark cage, yes, it detains Jericho and it stopped him from interfering in the match. But then you have Braun Strowman come out and interfere anyway. So the very thing that Mick Foley was trying to prevent was interference, right? By having Jericho suspended in the shark cage. Okay, I get that. But then you make the match a no disqualification match, which means if Jericho can interfere, Braun Strowman can, and he did. He interfered. He put Roman Reigns to the table. Actually, Roman Reigns went through 2 tables that night. Yesterday, Braun Strowman interfered. Kevin Owens got the 1, 2, 3, and it's like, well, damn. You know, Jericho was suspended in the shark cage, but why? What did that really accomplish? It was supposed to stop interference. But then Braun Strowman interferes. And my problem with Braun Strowman interfering in this match was, okay, he wanted to get his heat back from when Goldberg and Roman Reigns speared him on Raw. Okay, I get that. But Braun Strowman interfering in the Rumble, and then, of course, Braun Strowman's in the Rumble, and Baron Corbin eliminates Braun Strowman. So it's like... And then Reigns is in the Rumble, and I know I'm going all over the place, and I'll cover the Rumble in a minute. But actually, I'm gonna go back to that. I'm gonna talk about Styles and Cena, and then I'm gonna go back to the Rumble and why the whole Braun Strowman shit didn't make sense. All right, so Charlotte Bayley got a 3, Rich Swann and Neville got a 3.2, Reigns and Owens got a 3, Styles and Cena got a 3.5. I don't think those guys could have a bad match if they fucking tried. Okay. There's not really much to say about this match. It was just good. I mean, when you have chemistry with somebody, you have chemistry with them. And like I said, I don't think that John Cena and AJ Styles could have a bad match if they tried. Cena had an answer for everything AJ Styles did. I thought it was funny that AJ Styles got this step STF on Cena. I thought that was kind of funny. And I liked the fact that AJ Styles applied it better. It was kind of like a fuck you. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed Cena's code red that he hit on AJ Styles. That's the best that it's ever looked. But then again, you have someone who can actually do it, who can actually take the bump properly with AJ Styles. Cena kicking out of the Styles Clash twice kind of was like, even though like we know that the Styles Clash is not a finish. the forearm is. Um, that was kind of AJ Styles kicking out of the attitude adjustment from the middle rope with the top rope did not surprise me because he kicked out of that at SummerSlam. But I kind of like the finish when Cena hit the attitude adjustment, rolled around, hit the attitude adjustment again, and then pinned him. I thought that was kind of cool. Cena becoming 16-time champion. Woo! Cena's a 16-time champ. The way it's looking right now with Orton winning the Rumble, which I'll get to the Rumble here momentarily, it's looking like Cena versus Randy Orton at WrestleMania, and I'm really hoping that's not the case, only because we've seen Cena and Randy Orton so many times. So, like I said, I have nothing bad to say about John Cena and AJ Styles, other than the Styles Clash getting kicked out twice. I thought that was a little redundant. The attitude adjustment from the middle rope getting kicked out of, that happened at SummerSlam. Like I said, the ending with the attitude adjustment and then Cena rolling around and the attitude adjustment again was just, it was cool. I mean, there's not too much bad I can say about Cena and Styles. Gave it a 3.5. The Rumble I gave a 3 because, again, and it's hard for me to review Rumbles. Like, the last Rumble episode I did was Rumble 2002. And I'm pretty sure I gave that Rumble match a 3 because it's so much happening in the Royal Rumble match to give it. I mean, I'm not going to go decimal points for sure. It's either going to be good or bad. But it was kind of average. Like, and the reason why it was average, a lot of the, I felt like some spots were kind of wasted spots. I thought James Ellsworth was a wasted spot until he took the bump that he took. And I'm like, you know what? It was worth it just to see him take that crazy-ass bump that he took out of the ring. When Strowman, it wasn't a choke slam because he didn't have him by the neck, but he kind of had him by like his chest, and he just pressed him up with one arm, and he just dumped Ellsworth out of the ring, and it was one of the sickest bumps that I've seen. It's right up there with the Paul London bump from 2005 or the Taka Michinoku bump from 2000. It was one of those type of bumps that's like, ugh. It just looked disgusting. Kofi's big save this year, because that's what he does at every Rumble match, was him basically being on the top rope and falling and catching himself. And I think the whole Kofi saving himself gimmick is worn out because there's not much he can really do at this point to save himself. But that was the Kofi save this year. Enzo Amore is number 27. And here's the thing. Big Cass is number 1. And the thing with Enzo Amore and Big Cass, they are entertaining. But the fact that they did that whole monologue for as long as it did, it kind of pissed me off. Like, okay, stop with the cheap face pops and the yes, we're in Texas, or we're gonna sing "The Stars Are Night" in Texas, and the just. I like their stick, but their stick is good on Raw. Don't do that at the Rumble. Don't do that at the pay-per-view. And that just it dragged on too. It just pissed me off. Like, we get it. So Big Cass is number 1. Enzo Amore is number 27. Just like, why? Brock comes out at like 26, kills everybody, eliminates a couple people. Then Enzo comes out, and it's like, all right, that was a wasted spot. I'm sorry, that was a wasted spot. Finn Balor, I don't know if he's cleared or not, but I was kind of hoping for Finn Balor. I was kind of hoping for Kurt Angle. I ain't gonna lie, I'm a Shawn Michaels mark. I was hoping for Shawn Michaels. I really was hoping Michaels would make a surprise appearance in the Rumble. But the thing that got me the most was Roman Reigns at number 30. And now I'm gonna go back to Braun Strowman because I'm gonna link that together. Earlier in the video, I talked about Braun Strowman interfering in the Universal title match. Okay. He wants to get revenge for the double spear from Reigns and Goldberg. Great, I get that. But then why do you have Baron Corbin eliminate Braun Strowman? Why? Why? Like, if you want to establish Corbin, okay, but still, like, why? Like, you had Braun Strowman eliminate Big Show. Okay, I get it. You want to establish Braun Strowman as a big deal. Great, so you have him take out the Big Show. But then you have Baron Corbin randomly eliminate Braun Strowman. For what? So is Reigns gonna get his heat back tonight on Raw for that? For what happened in the Universal Title match? Maybe that's what's gonna happen. Um, that confused me. And plus, I ain't gonna lie, I'm feeling salty as fuck because we had a pay per view poll at my apartment last night, and we all picked our final four. My final four was Braun Strowman, Brock Lesnar, Goldberg, and The Undertaker. So obviously, my final four got fucked up with Braun Strowman getting eliminated by Baron Corbin, Goldberg getting eliminated, or I'm sorry, Brock Lesnar eliminating, or Goldberg eliminating Brock Lesnar in a short amount of time. That fucked it up for me. And then Undertaker eliminating Goldberg. And then Roman Reigns eliminating The Undertaker. So, like, my final four was just, I mean, it was just done. It was just crazy. But that's the fun part about the Royal Rumble, is that you really don't know what's going to happen. And this year's Rumble, I must say, was one of the Rumbles that was really unpredictable. Because I thought for sure when Cena won the title from AJ Styles, I'm like, all right, we're getting Cena versus Undertaker this year at WrestleMania. It's gonna happen. Cena won the title at Rumble. Cena won the title at the Royal Rumble, so Undertaker's winning the Royal Rumble, and he's gonna challenge John Cena at WrestleMania. I thought for sure that was what's gonna happen, but no. Like I said, Roman Reigns eliminates the Undertaker. Like, damn. But back to Roman Reigns. A lot of people are pissed off that Reigns was in the Rumble. I get that. I'm not mad that Roman Reigns was in the Rumble. At all. I'm upset that Roman Reigns was in the Rumble, but didn't really serve much of a purpose, only to eliminate The Undertaker. Like, I feel like with Braun Strowman costing Roman Reigns the Universal title, I would have thought that maybe Reigns would interfere in the Rumble to eliminate Strowman instead of Baron Corbin, or maybe Roman Reigns would eliminate Strowman if he was in the Rumble. But Baron Corbin did it, so that was kind of random. The Brock and Goldberg shit, I have completely given up on this. I've had it I've had it. Like, I've completely had it with Brock and Goldberg. I've completely given up on this angle. I am done. I don't even give a fuck anymore. I really don't. Because you want to establish Brock Lesnar as this beast, but yet you keep having him get owned by Goldberg. It just doesn't make sense. I don't get it, and I give up. I don't care anymore. I completely give up on Brock and Goldberg. I'm not even going to talk about it anymore. I covered what happened. I had it in my final four. Literally, Goldberg came out, spear, and then eliminated Lesnar. Like, I don't know what they're doing, and I'm not going to stress myself trying to figure it out. So I give up on that. With Reigns eliminating The Undertaker, I guess my guess would be Reigns versus Taker at WrestleMania. That would be my guess. I'm hoping that Goldberg doesn't win the title from Kevin Owens, and then you have Brock and Goldberg for the title, because that feud, as meaningless as it is, does not need the title at all. And I think the plan for Mania is Kevin Owens and Jericho, and I don't see that being for the Universal title. I am hoping that Goldberg does not win the Universal title. Just let Goldberg and Brock have their little match at Mania and leave the Universal title out of it. You could have anybody on the roster beat Kevin Owens for the Universal title. Anybody on the roster but Bill Goldberg. Anybody. Hell, fucking Enzo Amore could win the Universal title for all I care. But I digress. The Rumble match was a 3. Surprises in it. Like I said, not many. I feel like it was a couple wasted spots. I would say Mark Henry, but he's from Texas, so they needed a Texas spot. Apollo Crews, I feel like, was a wasted spot. Kalisto, like, people that just... And it's nothing against these people, okay? I like Apollo Crews. I like Kalisto. Mark Henry's whatever. I like Mark Henry, but, like, I feel like they could have used surprises, and they should have did more surprises this year, and they didn't. But that's cool. Rumble match gave it a 3. Overall rating, I'll go over them again. Reigns Owens got a 3. Styles Cena got a 3.5. Best match on the card. Charlotte Flair Bailey got a 3. Rich Swann Neville got a 3.2. And the Rumble match got a 3. So you average it out, you get a 3.14. I'm just gonna make this easy. Just give the Rumble a 3 out of 5 stars. It wasn't as horrible as I feel like the internet is making it out to be, but it could have been better than what it was. And what I do here is I critique. I critique. And my videos have ranged from me being angry to being happy or to being just indifferent. And I'm pretty much indifferent with this event. It was enjoyable. It wasn't horrible, and I will say that. So I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars for this event. Coming up in 2 weeks, because reasons, there's another pay-per-view, Elimination Chamber. That's the SmackDown event. And then another 2 or 3 weeks, there's Fastlane in March. So you're going to have those videos from me. I'm going to predict Elimination Chamber, review Elimination Chamber, predict Fastlane, review Fastlane, and then I want to let you guys know that I am actually going on a military exercise in the middle of March. So I may not have a prediction video for WrestleMania this year, but I will definitely have a review video for WrestleMania this year. If I could do it from where I'm at, I will. Like, I'll have my phone, so maybe I'll take one real quick. Wherever, I mean, I don't want to reveal where I'm going to be at, but I will be at an undisclosed location somewhere in New Jersey. So if I'm able to have access to my phone, I will post a quick prediction video for Mania. If the Mania card is kind of up before I have to leave, I'll do a prediction video. But I will definitely have a review because I'm planning on being back before WrestleMania. Like, I'm supposed to come back on the 31st of March, and Mania is April 2nd this year, so hopefully I'll get to watch it live. And hell, I might even do a review that night, like I did last year for WrestleMania 32. Speaking of WrestleMania, February is going to be my 1-year anniversary of doing this show. And my first episode was covering Daniel Bryan's retirement. So in honor of that, I'm going to review WrestleMania 30, being that was the biggest highlight in Daniel Bryan's career. And I will have a WrestleMania 30 review for you guys sometime in February for my 1-year anniversary and in honor of Daniel Bryan, since my first episode was covering his retirement and my thoughts about it. So I will review WrestleMania 30 for you guys. And plus that works out because it's WrestleMania season. So I might do a couple more WrestleManias if I have time. I'm a busy guy, but WrestleMania 30 is priority. So this has been episode 55. This has been my review of the Royal Rumble 2017. One thing I forgot to talk about before I end the video is the whole Seth Rollins shit. They followed up on it at TakeOver, and they replayed the video of Seth Rollins showing up at TakeOver. And I thought that maybe Triple H would be a surprise entrant and Rollins would get involved in that. But they decided not to use the Rumble match to further that angle, which at first I was like, but actually I kind of appreciate it. Like, they're going to, I guess, Stephanie and McMahon and Seth Rollins are going to have a face-to-face tonight on Raw. So we'll see how that develops. That is very interesting. And, I mean, Seth Rollins versus Triple H is a match that's probably going to happen at WrestleMania. And so, anyway, they didn't cover that angle during the Royal Rumble match, which I'm okay with now that I've had time to think about it. But that will get covered tonight on Raw. Like I said, Rumble got a 3.5. I'm rambling. I'm going to end the video now. 3.5 for the Rumble. We will see what happens at the upcoming pay-per-views leading to WrestleMania. You guys have a nice night. I'm signing out.